Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. In this video, I want to talk about an excerpt that I read in Tom Bower's book, Revenge, and what we are going to see is how Meghan Markle started treating people immediately after her engagement. We are specifically going to focus on her interaction with her merchandising agent and Sarah Rafferty. I want to mention that I believe that Meghan Markle is a malignant narcissist. I am not a therapist. This is just my assessment based on the people that I grew up around, including my stepmom, who I believe is a malignant narcissist. After I read you the excerpt, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think this relates back to narcissism, and I'm going to clarify the difference between a narcissist and a malignant narcissist. And yeah, I hope that this is a great take-home message for all of you, and maybe you can analyze your own professional relationships and see if they relate to how Meghan reacted in these interactions. Let's get into the excerpt. So this is in chapter 17, page 161 of Tom Bower's book, Revenge. What has happened at this point is that Harry has asked Meghan to get married. Meghan has accepted, and at this point, Meghan's relationships with her Suits co-workers were not in a very good place. There has been speculation that she was being written off the show, and perhaps she felt pressure to really try to seal the deal with Harry as soon as possible to, secure her future, and this is all allegedly. Okay, let's get into it. Oh, I also want to mention there's a woman's name I'm going to say. Her name is Lori Sale or Sally. I'm not sure, but I'm going to call her Sale, and I apologize in advance if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Okay, let's get into it. By then, Meghan's relationship with some Suits actors was troubled. An argument had erupted over Sarah Rafferty. Meghan had asked Lori Sale, her merchandising agent, to consider representing Rafferty, a redhead older than her, for commercial endorsement contracts. The two met, and Sale was enthusiastic. Hearing the news, Meghan called and accused Sale of conflict of interest. Sale was perplexed. Not only had Meghan asked her to represent Rafferty, but the two actresses were not competitors. Meghan's behavior hardly chimed with her recent plea on a TV program, esteemed to be kind to yourself and not to be so judgmental and so unkind. I wouldn't treat my best friend that way. Sale was the latest to discover the nature of Meghan's sincerity. She was two characters, one concealed and one fictional, with a baffling tendency to switch from idolizing to belittling a friend. Okay, so I just want to say off the bat that it's fitting that her merchandising agent's last name is Sale. I just want to point that out. That was really funny to me. So before we continue, I want to talk a little bit about narcissists versus malignant narcissists. Narcissists have, feelings of grandiosity. They like empathy. They're entitled. A malignant narcissist, though, has these same traits, but they have darker tendencies also. They have paranoia, they're manipulative, and they have outright malice. They want to see people get hurt. That's what they want. And I know this firsthand based off of my experience with my own stepmother. So unlike typical narcissists who seek admiration and validation, malignant narcissists are much more aggressive. They exploit and undermine others so that they can maintain power and control, and they leave lasting emotional harm. And in my opinion, and allegedly, I believe that Meghan Markle is very similar to my stepmom, and my stepmom is a malignant narcissist. So take that as you may. So what happened in this interaction with Lori Sale, Sarah Rafferty, and Meghan Markle is really weird. Just looking at it firsthand, it seems like Meghan is trying to look genuine and doing a favor for both her merchandising agent and her coworker. But then when things start to happen that are in a positive light, that are going to turn into positive and successful stories for her coworker and her merchandising agent, Meghan flips the script. So what happened there? I think there are three things that we can look at here. The first is control and superiority. Malignant narcissists, they feel a need to dominate every situation and relationship. When Meghan accused Lori of a conflict of interest, Meghan is asserting her dominance and demonstrating that she is the authority figure in their professional relationship. This is to make sure that Lori feels subordinate to her and won't in the future challenge her authority again. So if this was a real life example, something that you may experience on your own, it could be, for example, a manager at your workplace that might accuse a team member of withholding information, even if it's baseless, in order to intimidate and ensure that all employees remain dependent on the manager's approval. So notice how this manager can single out one person, but everyone on the team will fall in line because they don't want to be the next one to be accused. And of course, this is assuming that the people in the workplace are seeking approval and guidance of the manager. The second thing that could be happening here is paranoia and rivalry. Malignant narcissists frequently misinterpret neutral or supportive actions as competitive or threatening. Meghan's accusations against Lori could stem from an irrational belief that if Lori was to represent Rafferty, this would detract from her value and undermine her position, even though the two actors are not direct competitors. So in this instance, Meghan sees Sarah as competition. I think she always saw Sarah as competition, but now she feels that success is within Sarah's reach, and this success could come as a cost to Meghan herself. And one thing that I have been reading about narcissists and malignant narcissists in particular is that when they see someone else win, comparatively, they lose. So seeing someone else win, they'll never be happy for someone else because that means that they lost. I've mentioned this before in other videos, and I'll say it again. Narcissists are not collaborators, they're competitors. They won't work in a team environment. They can't, because if anyone else is winning, if anyone else is getting the spotlight, that means they're not getting the spotlight. So a real life example of this could be a friend that might accuse another of trying to steal the spotlight by organizing a party on the same weekend, even if the events are unrelated. This would create unnecessary rivalry and isolates the accused friend from shared social circles. So I'll give you all an example from my own life that relates back to my stepmom. I should mention that my stepmom is related to my mom. They're cousins. And when my dad introduced me to my stepmom in a capacity as a stepmom and not an aunt, as she was because she's a cousin of my mom, I called her Aunt. I said, "Hello, Aunt," and then I said her name. And she jumped down my throat. And let me tell you, I was like 9 years old at the time. And I had put careful thought into calling her Aunt because I didn't want to call her only by her name and be considered disrespectful. She jumped down my throat and she said, "What, do you think I'm your aunt? Do you think," and I don't know why she went here, but she was like, "What, do you think that I'm your dad's sister?" Which is so freaking weird that she would go there. But it's like a lose-lose situation. No matter what I did, no matter what I said, she had set out to say that I was going to do the wrong thing. If I called her by her first name, I was a disrespectful child. If I called her aunt, which is the one that I chose, which I felt was the safer option, then I am not recognizing her place in relation to my dad. And I honestly feel like this is something that I've experienced a lot with narcissists. There's no winning. The way that I have coped with this is to recognize this and acknowledge this. So I go in a little bit better prepared. I know exactly what's going to happen. I know they are looking to be paranoid. They think that other people are their competition. For some reason, my stepmom thought I was her competition. And the fact is, there's a peace that comes with acknowledging this and not fighting it anymore. Because for so long, I tried to prove who I was. People that know me know who I am. I don't need to prove myself. I don't need to constantly be on the defense, defending my actions when my actions are always, always coming from a good place. So, yeah, and if you're going through this, I am so sorry that you're going through this. If you feel comfortable, please leave it in the comments. And, maybe we can have a discussion about it. But again, I'm so sorry if you're going through this. Okay, and the third thing that could be happening here is that Meghan is manipulating the entire situation. Malignant narcissists, they manufacture conflict to destabilize relationships or to test loyalty. By accusing the agent, Meghan is testing whether Lori would align herself fully with Meghan's interest, or if she will expose herself as a threat, as someone who is not going to be loyal to Meghan and would end up supporting Sarah Rafferty. This behavior is a strategy to gain greater control or push people out of their inner circle. Okay, so I'm going to end the video here, and I'm curious to know what you all think about this. If you've experienced malignant narcissism at all, it's truly, truly horrible. These people want to see you in pain. They want to see you cry. They want to inflict as much damage as they can. And I think in this example with Lori and Sarah Rafferty and Meghan, this is a really good example of malignancy on display. So I'm wondering what you all feel about this. If this was interesting to you, please like and subscribe. Please drop your comments. Please share this with your friends if you think they might benefit from it. If you know anyone that might be going through similar difficulties with colleagues or coworkers, please go ahead and share it with them. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you all soon. Goodbye.